Hey everybody, welcome to Animation Capstone. That's right, we've hit week 6. We're over the halfway mark. Finally hitting that midpoint, and then we're gonna get to the last push, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go over some more detail and really take a look at what we've been focusing on. So last week we talked about starting adding the clips in, really taking a look at the first 30 seconds. But now we're gonna really talk about transition techniques, and this is what we're gonna focus on this week. We're also gonna talk a little bit about marketing and some other elements, but let's talk about some transition techniques and really go into it from there. I can't wait to take a look at your 30 seconds, your first 30 seconds. So that's going to be really cool. I think I took a look at some of your videos because everybody started adding clips already in there. And some of them looked really good, and some of them I just felt like it was a little too early. We need to play around with the order a little bit. But other than that, everything looks great. So yeah, let's get into it, what we're going to be focusing on this week. So, all right. So, what we have this week. So, we're going to talk about more with transitions. So, there's 3 types. We'll go over them in lecture a little bit more. Also, a little bit later in this announcement. We'll also talk about the introduction to visual design and just taking a look at an introduction to some marketing choices, how you're going to market yourself, how to go about it. That's really what we're going to be focusing on this week. Now, one of the biggest things about it is how to really create a quick transition. We'll just go through the overview of really what we're going to be focusing on. Depending on the clips involved in a transition, this can be achieved in a myriad of varying ways. Having a scene wipe across the other and cover it up, creating a new shape in After Effects that flies across the screen, or masking out a piece of it to bring in a previous shot and use it to bring in the next one. There's so many different ways you can go about this. However, it just depends what route you want to take and how it's going to make sense for your work. Now, keep in mind when you're editing similar clips, note this slide is just showing some previous information that we talked about when we were doing transitions. It's the same concept. We just want to make sure that when we're editing and using transitions, your clips so that everything's similar movements. So one of the biggest aspects about transitions is the fact that everybody likes using multiple different transitions. And sometimes that works if it makes sense for the context, but 90 to 95% of the time it doesn't, because all you're doing is confusing your viewer, and it's just coming in from all different directions where that information is. We deal with this a lot of times in like pitch decks for like game design, where we'll use different ways to view something or have it transition somewhere else or however it comes to appear to the viewer, and we just confuse it and we don't really focus on the work or what the information is above it. We just make things look pretty just for the sake of it, and that can detract from your work. So what I would like you to do is make your transitions consistent. Whatever you use 1 to 2, and that's it. Like, just make it reason. Like, if you split it up for like the first half of the video uses one transition and the second half uses another, that's fine. Just don't make it jarring where you're using random transitions and different ones all at the same time. Keep it similar, keep it simple, make it easy for the viewer to understand what you're trying to show them. Don't confuse them midway through, because they're going to take time trying to find your work rather than actually looking at it. And that's huge. Just for example, so if you have a character running from left to right, make sure the next video is running from left to right. Make sure you create a consistent pattern. And this is the same thing with color too. When you're editing colors and everything, again, a review of previous. What you want to do is create solid edits and use consistent theming, consistent colors. For example, if you're going monochromatic, black and white, use black and white for a lot of your images. Don't change it, and then all of a sudden you're throwing these color images out of nowhere that don't match a color scheme, and that could be a problem in on itself. So consistency is key here, and don't overload the viewer with so many different transitions and colors. Make it consistent. That's the big aspect about it. Use 1 or 2. Don't go crazy, because then you're not going to focus on the work, and that's the big aspect, selling your work. All right, other than that, that's pretty much all I got. Your rubrics are online, also the lecture links as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I'll see everybody for lecture tomorrow. Be safe, have fun, enjoy. If you need anything, holler. But other than that, take it easy. All right, my friends. Bye-bye.